It's a huge day in London. That's why we have you here to get your take on it. So how do you view these talks and the fact that now that Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has been added to the negotiations?
Well, I think Treasury Secretary is the man in charge. I think he's the key player. But I think it probably assures the right a little bit that the Secretary of Commerce is there. And, of course, the Secretary of not the Secretary, the trade rep is there. So they've got the first team on the ground there. And I think it's also interesting that Peter Navarro, who's sort of been the anti-China person and with the loudest voice in that group, is not there. So I think that it's very key that in that phone call, because of the whole uproar between the president and Musk, this meeting got almost no attention at all. We were watching the evening news on Friday and waiting to see what they said about it, and it literally didn't come up on some of the major channels. And I think it has swung. So what the president needs today, I think, is not only a good agreement for jobs and markets and everything, but also it's another step of moving away from the hammering headlines of the feud between he and Musk. I mean, nobody
those are,
wins.
Tom, let's be clear. Those headlines aren't going to go anywhere. So you can't actually move away from it. When the world's richest person and the President of the United States are fighting so publicly, those aren't going to go anywhere. But you're saying he could use some good news just for PR. I think that really leads me to my next question for you. While the president's facing some pushback here domestically with the so-called big, beautiful bill, is there some concern for this administration that Elon Musk speaking up about it might inspire some other Republicans, maybe some fiscal hawks, to also push back? And then at the same time, if the president's having problems at home, could that potentially make China just more steadfast in these negotiations and feel like they have more bargaining power because he's facing these domestic issues?
Well, I think that two completely different parts of this question. I think China has their own agenda. They're very focused. One of the things that came out of the call on Friday that, again, was missed was that President Xi invited President Trump and Mrs. Trump to visit China. I don't think he would have done that if the game plan was to embarrass him and not have a good result on London. So in London. So I think that I'm pretty optimistic that there's a lot of groundwork done. Again, from my days working in Washington, this does not just happen out of the blue. There's a lot of groundwork done before meetings like this occur. So I would be surprised if there wasn't something at least marginally positive that came out of this meeting. Okay. And then, but as you say, his biggest problem continues to be, how do I manage this problem? And you hit the nail on the head. Having worked in Congress, the problem is that this margin is so narrow. As we know, the vote in the House was only one vote. And you hit the nail on the head. It's the fiscal conservatives. Some of them very, very reluctantly voted for this bill.